We're going to be making a red Thai curry today. Now I'm actually going to be making mine with chicken breast. But you can either do it as vegetarian, you can add prawns instead, or you can add pork or beef. Really universal. Now the recipe I'm making is not necessarily totally authentic, but it is delicious. Now first of all, with the ingredients in front of us, all these ingredients here are going to go in to make the curry paste. Now I'll just run you through what we've got. Now I've got 3 shallots there, they're like onions but small versions. Then we got some ginger, a piece about the size of a walnut, peel it, chop it, put it in the blender. Got 4 cloves of garlic. Then I've got a couple of chillies. Now these are not like the Thai small really hot chillies, maybe not quite as hot. Now what I'm going to do is, one of them, take the stalk off and I'm going to put the whole thing in the blender so you get all those hot seeds in there. The other one, I'm going to take the stalk off, de-seed it, cut it in half, de-seed it, and put that in there. So I'm going to use 2 chillies, but you can use an extra one if you want, you know, use as many as you like depending how you like it. Then I've got some lemongrass. Now you've got an outer wrapper there, just peel that off, chop, if you like, both ends, you know, cut it in a little bit, and then just chop it down and put all that in the blender, but leave the 2 ends because, you know, you don't want those bits in there. Now the other ingredients I've got some soya sauce there, we've got some fish sauce, toasted sesame oil, I've got some dried sort of powder coriander, some cumin and a bit of white pepper, a little bit of salt and also a bit of tomato puree. Now here I've got some coriander, I'm going to take the leaves off of there and keep the stalks, put those in a blender as well, gives it a nice flavour. So that lot there is going to go all into the blender. Now I'm going to be making my dish with chicken. I've actually got about 600 grams, about half a kilo of chicken breast, couple of chicken breasts there really. So I'm going to chop that up into sort of bite-sized pieces, and I'm going to use chicken for mine, but you could use pork, you could use beef, you can use prawns. They just need slightly different cooking times, but I'm going to use chicken. Now the other thing I've got a can of coconut milk, a little bit of sugar, sort of brown sugar if I need it. We'll taste it and see how it is later. Now I've just put a selection of vegetables. I might not use all those. Again, you can have a look around, see what you've got. But I've got red pepper, just slice that up a little bit. Now if you're going to use carrots, slice them down quite fine because, you know, we're not going to cook it for long and you want to kind of get them a little bit cooked. Then again, I've got some manged out sort of beans, if you like snap peas, fine green beans, and also these little mini sort of cobs, mini corn on the cob sort of things. And again, I've got some spring onion. But have a look for the vegetables, use what you want. Obviously they take slightly different cooking times depending on the vegetables you're using. So what I'm going to do is just prepare all this, sort of chop it down, get it all ready for the blender, chop this into bite-sized pieces. This is all washed, so I'm going to get on with making the curry sauce first. So I've got the ingredients laid out for making this curry paste. So I've chopped up the shallots, peeled the garlics, again peeled and sort of chopped up the ginger, the fresh ginger we've got. Got me 2 chillies there. You can see that one I've sort of de-seeded it, cut it in half, pull the seeds out, take the stalk off. This one is almost whole, it hasn't got the stalk in the end, but I've just left all the seeds in there. Then I've got the lemongrass, chop it up fairly fine. Here I've got the sort of stems of the coriander. I've kept all the leaves, sprinkled them at the end, but I'm just going to put the coriander stems in there. Now here we've actually got a lime, and what I've done is I've peeled the skin there, not all of it, but you know, a good portion of it. Going to put that in, gives it a lovely flavour. And what I'm going to do with the actual sort of lime is roll it round, and then I'm going to cut it up and squeeze all that juice in there. Then I've got my spices there, sort of dried spices. Now I'm actually going to be using a teaspoon, so the small spoon, of cumin, white pepper, and I've got some salt, just slightly less of salt. And I've also got 2 teaspoons of coriander. Now the other things we're going to use is a good splodge of tomato puree. Then again, if you want to measure it as teaspoons, I've actually got some toasted sesame oil. Gives it a really nice flavour, but it's quite strong, so again just use like 1 teaspoon of that. With the soya sauce I'd say 3 teaspoons, and the fish sauce 3 teaspoons of that. So what I'm going to do is put it all into the blender and we're going to make it into a paste. So I'm just going to stick this into the blender there. Again, put the chillies in there, otherwise I might have to blend it a bit and then blend it a bit more because it's quite a small blender I've got here. So I'll just keep filling this up. So I've got as much as I can in there. I'm going to leave some of the bits like the spices and that and add those in a minute when it's sort of, you know, compressed down a little bit more sort of finely chopped. So I'm going to start it off and just try and get it nice and fine. So I've just blended it very quickly just to get it a little bit lower in the pot. And that's all the spices in there. I'm not going to measure it out exactly, but let's say about 1 teaspoon of sesame oil. And again, roughly I'd say about 1, 2, 3 soy sauce. And again, fish sauce. 1, 2, 3. That'll do. Got some tomato puree. Good splodge of that. And last thing I'm going to put in there is the juice of that lime. So just squeeze all that in there. Juice of the whole lime, really. So we're using it all. We use the skin and the juice inside. So again, do this one as well. So now we've got a bit more juice in there. You should find it blends up a lot easier. So again, I'm just going to put that back on and do that for a couple of minutes, really. Just until it's really nicely blended up. So I've finished blending that and it should be nice and smooth. Let's just have a quick look. So I'm just going to pull that off there. Let's just show you that. Look at that. Lovely, nice paste, all nice and fine, ready to use. What we're going to do now is go over to the pan and we're going to start cooking up this Thai curry. So we're going to get on with the cooking. Now I'm going to use this wok. It's not an authentic wok, but I thought today to make a change. You can use any kind of frying pan for making this. Now I've just put some oil in the pan. I've actually put some sunflower oil, but you can also use vegetable oil. In fact, vegetable oil is probably better because it hasn't actually got any real sort of flavour. I'm just going to switch the heat on. And what we're going to do is get the oil a little bit hot, and then we're going to put in that paste we've made, that really yummy paste. So the oil's heated up. I'm just going to give it a little bit of a swish around here. So I'm just going to put that paste in. Alright, give that a stir around, mix it all up, and really when it becomes fragrant you can really sort of get some lovely aromas off it. Then that's when you want to put in the coconut milk. It's starting to smell good now, it's really nice. So I'm just going to add the coconut milk, about the final stir there. Just give it a sort of mix up, get it all the colours nicely mixed. Look at that, it's looking good already. Now I've got a lid for my wok, so I'm just going to pop that on and wait until it comes to the boil, and then we're going to put the chicken in. Right, I think my one's just starting to come to a boil there. So now we've added the chicken, give it a good stir, just to mix all the flavours up. And what I'm going to do is just leave this cooking away. Now the chicken, this chicken breast, is probably going to take about 8, maybe 10 minutes in total. So turn it down to a simmer. I'm going to pop a lid on it and come back in 5 minutes time. Now I've been simmering away for about 5 minutes. Now what we're going to do is to start adding the vegetables. Now I've got my vegetables all laid out on the plate. Now some of these are going to take longer than others. So the ones that take roughly about 5 minutes I'm going to add in. But always have a look on the back of your packaging because that will give you an idea. Because you want them nice and crisp and, you know, not too soggy. So I'm just going to add in fine green beans, I think they call those. And then we've got the carrots. Now with the carrots you do want to sort of finely slice them. I've got these sort of mini corn, mini cob things. Then I've got some peppers, kind of chop those up. Just adds a bit of colour to it. Now what I am going to do is just add a little bit of water into mine, just to give it a little bit more juice and get everything covered. So I'm just going to add a little bit of water in there. Just put a little bit in, stir it up. Now all the vegetables I've put in there, they're roughly going to take about 5 minutes on a simmer. Because we don't want to cook them too much. Just in the last minute or so, I'm going to add the other vegetables. Put a lid on, carry on cooking. Now I've been cooking for about 9 minutes, so now what I want to quickly do is just have a quick taste of this. Oh, that's got nice flavours in there. I think what I'm going to do, just for my taste, I'm just going to add a little bit of sugar. I've got a little bit of brown sugar. Not very much, just a little touch. That'll do. Give that a quick stir up. It's looking nice. And it helps have this sort of, you know, contrasting colours, like we've got the sort of green and the red, and that looks nice. Now, I'm just going to add those sort of snap peas or mange touts. And say these only really take a minute. And again, I've got not very much. I ended up using one spring onion, but I think it gives it a nice sort of final flavour. Just put that in, pop the lid on it, cook it for 1 more minute, so that will be 10 minutes in total, and then we're ready to serve it up. So just before I serve it up, I just wanted to sort of slosh it around a little bit. Look at that, looks really nice, got a nice colour, and I think for me it's got the right kind of consistency. Now what we're going to do is just add that coriander we've got, you know, that fresh coriander. I took all the stalks off, with a nice little bit of coriander on top, because generally with the sort of fresh herbs you sprinkle those on just at the end really. I'm just going to put the rest of those on. I love the coriander. So let's serve some of that up and enjoy ourselves. So I'm just going to serve some of that up. Just get some of those bits of chicken there. So I've got the Thai curry all served up. Now I've got it with a little bit of rice there, and I've got a little bit of lime in case you want to sort of squeeze a little bit on, but also it looks quite nice. Now what I'm going to do is, rather than tuck in with a knife and fork, I'm just going to try a little bit of this sauce, because the sauce is what it's all about really. Let me just show you that. Let me try that. Oh yeah, it's got a nice kick, and you can taste all the sort of garlic and the ginger and the lime. All the flavours kind of come through. Really nice. Now when you mix that with obviously the breast of chicken and the vegetables, you've got a really delicious dish. Add a little bit of sort of boiled rice, you know, just to sort of mix it all up, and it takes the harshness off it sometimes. But if you don't like the Thai curry quite as hot, then rather than putting that, you know, chilli that I put in with all the seeds, take that one out and just use one chilli, take all the seeds out, and that will sort of tone it right down for you. But delicious. Hope you enjoy. Thanks for watching.